Hi, in this tutorial, we will create or design a motor control circuit that can be run manually or automatically. In manual mode, the circuit allows you to override the input devices and control the motor directly. But in automatic mode, the circuit runs the motor without any manual intervention. So with that, we'll create our circuit diagram for the hand of automatic or a manual automatic circuit diagram controlling a motor. So we need power source here. So the power source here, power source. Of course, we need some circuit breaker, a three phase circuit breaker, three pole, and we of course need some magnetic contactor here. It's a magnetic contactor. And of course, we also need some, we need also needs a thermal overload for our magnetic contactor, three-phase motor, a three-phase motor, and same time, we need some additional two-pole circuit breaker for our control circuit diagram. And I prefer to use transformer since I assume that our circuit is 460 volts AC and our control circuit needs separate power which is 220 volts. Of course, I need some additional circuit breaker here, circuit breaker, two volts, or I need some. I prefer to use the fuse here. What I need is a fuse here and a circuit breaker. At the same thing, I need an overload contacts. So I need an overload contact, thermal overload contact. Um, Thermal overload contact of our magnetic contactor. And of course, I need selector switch. Uh-huh. I need selector switch. I think this one. I need a selector switch. The selector switch is will override our manual and automatic. So there is a manual, off, and automatic contact. So I need some push button, normally open push button for our start and normally close button for our stop. And I need also some normally open contact of our magnetic contactor, auxiliary contact, what we call the seal-in circuit for our seal-in circuit. And at the same time, I need also a holding coil for our contactor, magnetic contactor, the holding. And to make it automatic, I will use pressure switch, pressure switch, or can also temperature switch, or you can also this kind of inductive detectors, capacitive detectors. This is what we call the transducer. You can also use transducers and receptor barrier. This one is the pressure switch, normally open, normally close, and pressure, empty pressure, so normally close, the temperature. I prefer to use some pressure switch, normally close. The purpose of pressure switch, I assuming that this circuit diagram is application for water pump system. If there is no amount of pressure flowing into the water pipelines, the motor automatically activates on and off position. So let's connect this circuit. No, but before we connect, we need to edit we need to edit this component. So I prepare this one as QF1, 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 and this will be the magnetic contactor, our KM1. This will be our thermal overload one. This is our three-phase motor M1. Okay, so I prepare to use this as F2 for our disconnecting fuse, for our transformer T1, for our another circuit breaker for our control circuit. Then this will be our F thermal overload F1 9596. This is referring to this overload relay, no? The 95 and 96. This is a thermal overload of magnetic contactor by Schneider Electric brand. Of course, this will be our selector switch S1. I will use this as push button 1, PB1. Stop push button. So this will be our PB2, the run or start, I mean, start push button. Then this will be our auxiliary contact of magnetic contactor KM1. This will be our connection is two wire. I prefer to use two wires connection. The three wires is what we call the normally open and normally closed contact. There is also a common contact. This is for pressure switch. Pressure switch. Okay. This is our magnetic contactor holding coil KM1. And that's it. We need to connect this our be the source X, where is X1, all the source feeder. No. Okay, we'll have a connection, our source. Shit. We need to bring down here so that there is available space. Okay, so We'll use a black one and then the blue one. Uh, our equipment grounding conductor, we we will put some text here that is let me just replace the color of our text. This is a 460 VEC three phase line. We need to change the font style of our, we need to adjust to regular one. Okay, click OK. This is a 460 volts source. This will be our circuit protection. We need to label this one as circuit protection. And also this one is the magnetic or motor control magnetic contactor. This one will be our overload relay, our three-phase motor, our supply feeder. Need to change our font style to bold one, increase the size, then press OK. Is our feeder line, supply feeder line. Okay, so we need to save this, save as H. Need to label this as HOA, hand automatic CADe-SIMU. Okay. So we'll connect our circuit diagram. Connect this one. Need to increase the size of the thickness of our connecting wires. This will be our circuit. This is what we call the power circuit diagram. This is the power circuit diagram. And this one will be our control circuit diagram. Don't forget to connect our, we call this our grounding, equipment grounding conductor of our motor. If it is, let me just erase this one. This will be our equipment grounding conductor. I prefer to use this one like this. Connecting contactor overload relay, and we will connect this our control circuit. This will be our control circuit diagram. This is our supply. Okay, where the blue one. Okay, I will use this type of connection, the output, for us to minimize our wiring diagram. Okay, this will be our L1. Okay, we need to rotate this in right position. And this is our line 3, rather. This is our line 3. Need to rotate this one. Oops. Okay. This is our line 3. And this will be our um, control circuit. Let me adjust this. Need to adjust this one. Let me adjust the position of our okay. We did an input connection here since we have an output there. There must be an input connection to power circuit. Okay. This will label as the line 1. Okay. And also an input connection below this KM1. This will be our line 2 connection, or rather line 3 connection. This will be our source. No? This will the function of this is an input source from our circuit breaker QF2. Okay, let's connect our circuit. I will use the red connecting wires here. So since this is a red line 1, very easy to trace up. It's line 1. And of course, I rather use this block as our connection. The block, of course the block. And we'll connect our auxiliary contact parallel to our start push button. Okay, just this way. So this will be our black one. And the line 2 or the line 3 rather is the blue wires. Okay, so blue wires indicating that this connection is a line 3. So I use also another block here parallel to connected to our pressure switch. Since it is automatically, we will label this one as manual, or I prefer rather an hand. We call the hand. Let me change the font style. Font size, regular one. Okay. This also the off state. This also the automatic. This will be our selector switch. Selector switch. Selector switch. So our selector switch, this will be our thermal overload relay. This is the OL, normally close contact of our thermal overload. And we will label this one as pressure switch. 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 Okay. So we'll normally close pressure switch. So all in all, this will be our circuit diagram for our automatic and automatic manual operation of a three-phase motor application. Hmm? So in order to verify our circuit, we need to activate and simulate our circuit. So activate our circuit breaker for our motor, power circuit, and we will also activate this disconnecting fuse for our transformer. Of course, we will activate this one, our circuit breaker for our control circuit. This will be our power circuit diagram here on the right side. Uh, in the left side, in the right side is what we call the control circuit diagram. So let's analyze the circuit if it is fully functional on how the automatic uh, operates in a motor control circuit diagram. Once we activate the disconnecting fuse and circuit breakers, we will notice that our motor is not yet activated. This selector switch will indicate your current location or position, which will be our control to make it manual and automatic. So the current state of our selector switch is an off position. If we select it to the automatic position, okay, okay. So but first we need to edit our contact of our switch. I prefer to use the 1, 2, and the 3, 4. Okay. Let's simulate again. Activate our circuit breaker, disconnecting fuse, the other circuit breaker. So you will notice our selector is in hand or in a manual position. We need to select it in off position. So you'll notice the motor is not yet energized. Once we rotate the selector switch to hand position, hand position, and press the start push button, it manually uh, start and operate the three-phase motor. Once you activate the manual position, in selector switch, the circuit allows you to override the input devices and control the motor directly. Whereas if you um, rotate the selector switch in off state, so the motor will turning an off state. The motor will de-energize if you turn the selector switch in automatic. So since our pressure switch is normally closed state, so it automatically um, runs the motor without manual intervention. So this pressure switch, it could be any transducer, it could be inductive proximity sensor, it could be capacity proximity sensors, it could be something that automatically without manual intervention, it automatically uh, run the motor without manual intervention. So the example of our circuit diagram is something that uh, a motor or a water pump relies on its pressure. The best example of this pressure switch is what we call the air compressor motor, whereas that if the pressure is below its set value, the pressure switch automatically or the motor automatically runs based on the preset value of your pressure switch. And that is how to operate an automatic manual position. So once the pressure is activated, the circuit will lock in, the motor will continue to run until the preset pressure is stopped. No? The motor can be restarted by um, deactivating the pressure switch. So if we select the pressure switch in an off state, it automatically off. If we select it in automatic mode, the motor runs automatically. If we select the selector in manual mode, there is a manual intervention of a push button here. On, off, on, off. But if we take it automatically, so it automatically operates this three-phase mode. So that's it. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. So leave your comment below. That's all for today. Thank you for watching and have a great day.